Welcome to Hong Kong and Macau Review 99. I'm Ray Rudowski. It was a year of legal triumph and heartbreak for many mainland children hoping to be reunited with their parents. On the economic front, the recession ended, but unemployment remained at record highs. A deal was made for Mickey Mouse to set up shop in Hong Kong, and Macau said farewell to foreign rule. And to top it off, Mother Nature dealt a heavy blow to the SAR by making it one of the stormiest years on record. And that's where we begin.
We braced right, and that sheared the wing off. It's harrowing.
You could actually hear the explosion, like boom, like that. And within seconds, the whole thing flipped over. Everybody screaming, yelling.
It was supposed to be a routine landing. Then, tragedy struck. Flight CI-642 crashed as the pilot tried landing in the middle of Typhoon Sam. 3 people died and 214 others were injured.
This is in fact one of the most serious aircraft accidents in Hong Kong's history.
It was China Airlines' second crash in 18 months. A preliminary report cited excess fuel and the breakaway of landing gear as factors, but the final report and exact causes may not be released for another year.
The airport remains open, whether it is Typhoon signal number 8 or signal number 3. It is in accordance with international practice. The decision whether to land or not to land rests with the airline and the captain.
In October, emergency crews were once again called out to the tarmac at Chek Lap Kok. This time it was a China Southern Airlines flight from Kunming. The plane hit sudden turbulence, dropping 600 meters in a matter of seconds. 47 people were hurt, 7 seriously, many with head and neck injuries. But the civil aviation authorities alleged rescue efforts were delayed because the pilot did not tell the control tower what had happened. Even after the pilot landed, he only informed his airline, which then relayed the message to authorities.
If they inform us right away, then we will alert the emergency services quicker. That means more in advance, so that they will arrive on scene quicker. After landing, they inform the emergency services, and the emergency services still arrive on scene very quickly.
Typhoon Sam was one of 8 tropical storms this year, making 1999 the worst storm season since 1964. The sudden hoisting of the number 8 signal around 1 in the afternoon unleashed a wave of backlash from island residents who claimed the ferry had canceled without enough notice. Around 100 people boarded a docked ferry and stayed overnight, refusing to leave. Following the standoff, in his policy address, the chief executive pledged the observatory would try to give 2 hours' notice before raising the disruptive number 8 signal. The incident also highlighted tensions between islanders and the Hong Kong and Yau Ma Tei Ferry Company, tensions which began in April when the company relaunched a number of routes under a new license. Islanders resented some of the changes introduced by the company. The observatory moved through an alphabet of names before coming to York in mid-September. York, for years to come, it will be remembered as the first time the number 10 hurricane signal was raised in 35 years. It raged for 11 hours, killing 2 people, including a surfer. Nearly 500 others were injured. The cleanup estimate was in the billions. Windows in the Inland Revenue Department blew out, scattering tax files. 18,000 trees were damaged. In the end, the observatory admitted its existing typhoon monitoring equipment was inadequate. The stormwaters also exposed a loophole in the government's slope maintenance program. Following Typhoon Sam, a hillside collapsed beside a Shek Kip Mei housing estate. More than 700 people were forced from their homes and into shelters. It was later revealed that until June of this year, a bureaucratic loophole in the 1950s had left 400 slopes near public housing estates without any specific government department responsible for their upkeep.
Perhaps we haven't done a very good job in regular maintenance.
The heavy rains of August would also claim the life of a 53-year-old disabled man in Shumjung. The tragedy and destruction sparked fears that the upper slope in Shumjung village was unstable and residents' homes were unsafe. Despite warnings, many villagers refused to leave, and the episode highlighted just how big a role the weather played this year in daily village life. In November, wet housing clashed once again. Authorities clearing the Shungshui village for a flood control project ran into a storm of protest. It all stemmed from dissatisfaction with the resettlement package.
佢有一份嘢俾我哋，你個賠償即係啲咁多，唔使講理由，唔使問佢係咁多。
14 people, 8 of them police, were injured in the day-long stuff. 300 riot police fired tear gas and pepper spray at 25 angry residents. Many were armed with pipes. At least one carried a machete.
I don't think that it's excessive use of force. I think the force was appropriate given the circumstances at that point of time.
Police finally cleared the area, but not before arresting 14 people. Bulldozers finally leveled the enclave for flood works. From floods to fires. After the rainy season, dry weather set in around October, and red fire warnings went up, meaning the dangers were extreme. There were 112 hill fires during Chungyong Festival, a more than 20% increase over last year. At this Yunlong gravesite, a family burned offerings in the open air. Moments later, the flames spread to the entire hillside. Fortunately, no one here was injured. The government had provided 1,000 iron containers to burn offerings in, but this woman said they were inconvenient.
呢度方便係咁樣唔怕，即係睇住就唔怕啦，小心啲就得㗎啦。凡事臨走我哋倒啲茶落去，淋濕晒嗰啲水就得㗎啦。
There were also 400 fires during April's Qingming Festival, more than double the number from last year. The construction industry came under attack following the discovery of substandard foundation work in at least 5 public housing projects. In Tinshui, a third of the 15 blocks were discovered to have problems, delaying the move-in date for 2,000 anxious families. Repair work would cost the Housing Authority $350 million. The growing scandal prompted more than one official to lash out at builders.
When you buy a car, you don't expect to go to the factory and watch the mechanics put it together. There is a normal trust between the purchaser and the provider of the product. I don't see why this industry should be so different. But the fact is, we have to supervise, and supervise very closely.
The ICAC is now investigating some of those sites, while recently the government revealed it has banned at least 10 contractors from bidding on future housing projects for at least 3 years. After the break, from recession to recovery.